Number 1. The most peace-loving country. Think about this. Vietnam fought through nearly 40 years of war in the 20th century. Yet today, it stands among the most peace-oriented nations in Asia. Since reunification in 1975, Vietnam has chosen a path of stability and cooperation. It now maintains diplomatic relations with more than 190 countries, nearly every member of the United Nations. The country has also sent over 5,000 peacekeeping soldiers and medical staff to missions in Africa and the Middle East, a powerful symbol of its transformation. At home, peace is more than policy, it's a lifestyle. Vietnam ranks consistently as one of the safest travel destinations in Southeast Asia, with violent crime rates far below the global average. And for travelers, this peaceful spirit is something you feel the moment you arrive. Foreign visitors often remark on how friendly and inclusive Vietnamese people are. Strangers will stop to give directions. Shopkeepers treat tourists like family. And it's not unusual for restaurant staff to entertain your children while you enjoy a meal. Vietnamese culture also treasures children deeply. In every corner of the country, from busy Hanoi cafes to riverside eateries in the Mekong Delta, you'll see locals smiling, waving, and playing with kids, whether they know the family or not. For many visitors, this warmth is just as memorable as the landscapes or cuisine. In short, Vietnam proves something remarkable. A nation once defined by war has transformed into one of the most peace, loving, and most welcoming societies on Earth. Tell us in the comments, where are you watching from, and have you ever visited this country? Number 2. Introduction and geography. Now let's place this peace-loving country on the map. Vietnam stretches like a graceful letter S along the eastern edge of Southeast Asia. It shares borders with 3 countries, China to the north, Laos and Cambodia to the west, and opens widely to the East Sea on its east and south. With an area of about 331,000 square kilometers, Vietnam is roughly the same size as the US state of New Mexico. That makes it the 65th largest country in the world compact, yet filled with diversity. The nation also holds a coastline of more than 3,260 kilometers, dotted with white sand beaches, fishing villages, and world-famous natural wonders. This long shoreline not only shapes daily life, but also anchors Vietnam's role in international trade. Its location is strategic. Sitting at the heart of Asia's busiest maritime routes, Vietnam forms a natural bridge connecting giant economies like China and India with the rest of Southeast Asia. That's why it is more than just a scenic destination, it is also a key player in the region's politics and commerce. For a traveler, this geography means endless variety. In a single trip, you can climb rugged mountains in the north, cruise emerald bays along the coast, and wander through fertile rice plains in the south. Few places pack so much into such a compact shape. Number 3. Landscape and climate. Vietnam may not be the largest country, but its landscapes are some of the most diverse in Asia. In the north, you'll find majestic mountain ranges crowned by Phan Xipang rising more than 3,143 meters, the highest peak in Southeast Asia. Travel south and the terrain opens into vast plains, home to fertile rice fields and lush mangrove forests that stretch for miles. What makes Vietnam even more unique is its coastline. Extending for more than 3,260 kilometers, it embraces world-class wonders. Ha Long Bay, with over 1,000 limestone islands, is a UNESCO World Heritage Site, while sandy beaches like Mai Kea have been named among the world's most beautiful by international magazines. The climate adds another layer of variety. The north has 4 distinct seasons: spring, summer, autumn, and winter, each offering a different experience. The south enjoys only 2 seasons, wet and dry, with warm, humid air all year long. The central region is more unpredictable, shaped by hot winds in summer and heavy rains, with storms toward the end of the year. For travelers, this means every region feels like a new country of its own. You can trek snow-dusted mountains, bask on tropical beaches, and sail through storm-carved caves, all within one narrow strip of land. Vietnam's geography is compact, but its climate and terrain hold endless surprises. Number 4. Population and culture. As of 2024, Vietnam is home to nearly 100 million people, making it the 15th most populated country in the world. And yet, what makes this number remarkable is not just its size, but its diversity. Vietnam officially recognizes 54 ethnic groups, each carrying its own language, dress, and traditions. The Kin people form the majority, about 85 to 90% of the population, while groups like the Hmong, Tay, Muong, and Khmer add vibrant colors to the cultural mosaic. This diversity is celebrated in countless festivals, from highland love markets to coastal boat races. Every group contributes something to Vietnam's shared heritage: unique music, dance, rituals, and foods. Together, they create a cultural treasury that feels endless. And beyond tradition, it's the people themselves who leave the strongest impression. Visitors often say that meeting locals, sharing a bowl of noodles at a street stall, or being invited into a family's home for tea becomes the highlight of their trip. The warmth of Vietnamese hospitality turns strangers into friends almost overnight. Vietnam is not just a place you see, it's a place you feel, through the people who carry its culture with pride and share it with anyone willing to experience it. Number 5. The friendliest country. If there's one thing travelers never forget about Vietnam, it's the people. Time and again, visitors rank Vietnam among the friendliest countries in the world, and it's easy to see why. From the moment you step onto the street, someone is ready to help. Lost in the old quarter of Hanoi? A shopkeeper may walk you several blocks just to point you in the right direction. Ordering food in Ho Chi Minh City? Don't be surprised if the vendor teaches you how to say the dish's name in Vietnamese with a smile. What stands out most is the genuine warmth. Locals often treat foreign visitors like long-lost friends. Families will invite strangers into their homes to share a meal. Restaurant staff have even been known to entertain children, so parents can enjoy their dinner in peace. And in a culture where children are adored, it's common to see strangers laughing, waving, or playing peekaboo with little ones in public. This friendliness isn't just for show, it's part of daily life. Neighbors borrow and lend freely. People greet each other with curiosity rather than suspicion, and hospitality is woven into the nation's DNA. For travelers, it transforms a trip into something deeper. You don't just visit Vietnam, you feel welcomed into it. Number 6. Vietnamese women. When people think of beauty in Asia, Vietnamese women often leave a lasting impression. Their elegance is more than appearance, it's a blend of gentle manners, warm smiles, and quiet confidence. But beauty is only part of the story. In today's society, Vietnamese women are also recognized as leaders and innovators. According to Forbes, Vietnam holds the record in Southeast Asia for the highest share of businesses led by women, about 40%. To put that into perspective, the global average is only around 28%. One shining example is Nguyen Thi Phuong Thao, the first self-made female billionaire in the region, who has inspired countless young women to dream boldly. Yet behind these achievements lies a hidden reality. Surveys show that Vietnamese women still spend more than 5 hours a day on housework, in addition to their careers. This double workload has made them masters of multitasking, running a company in the morning, managing a family in the evening, often without complaint. In relationships, Vietnamese women are admired for loyalty and emotional depth. At the same time, they are increasingly independent, open to multicultural connections, and proactive in choosing how to love and live. In recent years, the number of couples living together before marriage has risen by more than 25%, reflecting a new generation that values freedom and authenticity. For travelers, this combination of tradition and modern spirit is eye-opening. Vietnamese women embody both the strength of the past and the confidence of the future, making them one of the country's most remarkable treasures. Number 7. The Kingdom of Motorbikes. Step onto the streets of Vietnam, and you'll quickly notice one thing: motorbikes are everywhere. As of 2024, the country has between 72 and 75 million registered motorbikes. That means nearly 3 out of every 4 people own at least one. In major cities like Hanoi and Ho Chi Minh City, motorbikes account for as much as 90% of traffic. Every morning and evening, rivers of two-wheeled machines flow through the streets, creating a sight both chaotic and mesmerizing. The motorbike is more than a way to get around, it's a way of life. Families of 4 ride together on a single scooter. Street vendors carry towering stacks of goods. It's not unusual to see someone transporting a refrigerator, a bundle of furniture, or even a pen of live pigs balanced on the back. For millions of people, the motorbike is also their livelihood, delivering goods, selling food, or providing taxi rides. Of course, this love affair comes with challenges: air pollution, noise, and heavy congestion during peak hours. But the motorbike's unmatched convenience, slipping through alleys, parking in tight spots, and saving money on fuel, keeps it as Vietnam's most trusted companion. For newcomers, There's one survival tip. When crossing the street, don't run and don't freeze. Walk slowly and steadily. Make eye contact. The swarm of motorbikes will weave around you like a school of fish in the sea. It's not just traffic, it's an art form, uniquely Vietnamese. Number 8. Urban street culture. In Vietnam, everyday life spills out onto the streets, creating a kind of open-air theater that fascinates visitors. Things that might seem unusual or even illegal in other countries are perfectly normal here. Take a haircut, for example. In many cities, all it takes is a small mirror hung on a tree, a wooden stool, and a barber with scissors. For just the price of breakfast, you can sit on the sidewalk and get a fresh trim while listening to the hum of traffic and birdsong overhead. Or consider beer. In places like Bui Vien in Ho Chi Minh City or Ta Hien Street in Hanoi, sidewalks transform into bars each evening. Plastic chairs, a tiny table, and an ice-cold bottle are all you need to join the party. There's no dress code, no barriers, just laughter, conversations, and new friendships born under neon lights. Then there's the pharmacy. In many countries, you wait hours for a doctor's prescription. In Vietnam, you walk into a shop, explain your symptoms, and walk out minutes later with medicine in hand. It's quick, convenient, and sometimes a little surprising for first-time visitors. Together, these quirks make up Vietnam's street culture colorful, spontaneous, and endlessly alive. For travelers, it's not just about watching, it's about sitting down, joining in, and realizing that here, the streets themselves are part of the experience. Number 9. Unique customs. Beyond the bustling cities, Vietnam's ethnic minorities keep traditions that surprise and inspire travelers. With 54 recognized ethnic groups, each community adds its own customs to the nation's cultural mosaic. One of the most talked about is the Hmong practice of bride kidnapping. Despite the dramatic name, it isn't forced. When two young people are in love and both families agree, the young man symbolically brings the girl to his home as part of the marriage ritual. If she chooses to stay, a wedding follows. If not, she is free to return. It's a tradition that blends symbolism with respect for choice. Other groups flip common roles in marriage. Among the Red Dao, women often take the lead, proposing to men. Afterward, the groom moves into the wife's family home, a matriarchal pattern rare in Asia. Even funerals can feel unusual to outsiders. The Tay and Lolo people feed the deceased, offering bowls of rice and meat at the mouth of the departed to show devotion and ensure the soul is nourished in the next life. In some Hani villages, wooden statues are carved to represent the dead. Families then continue to talk, eat, and share with the statue as if the loved one never left. These customs may seem unusual at first, but they reflect timeless values, love, loyalty, and connection between the living and the departed. For visitors, they offer a glimpse into a spiritual depth you won't find anywhere else. Number 10. Coffee culture. If France gave Vietnam the coffee plant in the 19th century, Vietnam has since made it entirely its own. Today, this shaped country is the second largest coffee exporter in the world, producing nearly 40% of all Robusta beans on the global market. Unlike the mild Arabica beans favored in Europe, Vietnamese Robusta is bold, strong, and high in caffeine. It's also the foundation for some of the most unique coffee creations you'll ever taste. CNN once ranked Vietnamese iced coffee with condensed milk among the best coffees in the world. National Geographic has praised egg coffee rich, creamy, and sweet as one of those drinks you must try before you die. In coastal towns like Hue, you'll even find salted coffee, while in the South, coconut coffee adds a tropical twist. But coffee here isn't just a drink. It's a rhythm of daily life. From tiny sidewalk stalls with plastic chairs to sleek modern cafes, people gather over cups of dark, aromatic brew to talk business, share stories, or simply watch the city go by. Morning commutes often begin with the sound of dripping filters, while evenings wind down with conversations stretching long into the night. For travelers, joining this ritual is more than tasting a beverage, it's tasting a culture. Each sip connects you to millions of others doing the same, from Hanoi to the Mekong Delta. In Vietnam, coffee is community, and community is everywhere. Number 11. Agricultural exports. Vietnam is not only famous for coffee, it is a true agricultural powerhouse. By 2024, this country consistently ranked among the top 15 agricultural exporters in the world. What's more, it holds the #1 position in several key products. Take cashews, for example. Vietnam has been the largest exporter of cashew nuts globally for many years, both in quantity and value. The same is true for black pepper. More than 30% of the world's supply comes from Vietnamese farms. Dragon fruit, with its bright pink skin and sweet flesh, accounts for over 80% of global exports. And when it comes to rice, Vietnam regularly competes in the top 3 worldwide, with the ST25 variety once crowned the world's best. This success is no accident. Vietnam's tropical monsoon climate allows farmers to cultivate crops year-round. Fertile river deltas, the Red River in the north and the Mekong in the south, provide ideal conditions for rice and fruit. And beyond nature, it's the people, farmers who are hardworking, innovative, and quick to apply new science and technology. The result? Supermarkets from Tokyo to New York carry products that started in Vietnamese soil. For travelers, visiting a floating fruit market in the Mekong or a spice farm in the Central Highlands offers a first-hand look at how Vietnam feeds not just itself, but much of the world. Number 12. Sun Duong Cave. Hidden deep in the jungles of central Vietnam lies Sun Duong, the largest cave in the world. First discovered by locals in the 1990s and officially explored in 2009, it has captured the imagination of adventurers everywhere. The cave stretches for nearly 9 kilometers. Its ceilings soar up to 200 meters, and its chambers are so wide they could fit a 40-story skyscraper. Inside, an underground river winds through limestone formations, and even a primeval forest thrives in its own isolated ecosystem. Sun Duong stalactites tower as high as 80 meters, formed drop by drop over millions of years. Walking inside feels like stepping onto another planet, a hidden world untouched by time. The BBC once called it Vietnam's gift to explorers. But this wonder is carefully protected. Only about 1,000 visitors are allowed in each year, and the cost of an expedition can reach $3,000. Expensive, yes, but for those who make the journey, it is often described as the adventure of a lifetime. Number 13. Floating markets. In the Mekong Delta, shopping takes on a whole new form. Here, people don't just go to markets on land, they gather on the rivers. Floating markets are one of the most vibrant symbols of life in southern Vietnam, and the most famous of all is Cai Rang in Can Tho. Every morning, hundreds of wooden boats crowd together, their decks piled high with fruit, vegetables, seafood, and even steaming bowls of noodles. Sellers don't shout out their goods. Instead, they hoist a sample of what they're selling onto a long bamboo pole at the bow of the boat. From a distance, buyers can instantly see where to go. It's like a floating signboard system found nowhere else in the world. For travelers, the magic is in the experience. You can sip a hot cup of coffee brewed on a rocking boat, or enjoy a bowl of pho served fresh on the water. The smell of ripe fruit, the sound of vendors chatting, and the hum of engines all mix with the morning mist, painting a picture of daily life that feels timeless. CNN once named Cai Rang among the world's most unique markets. And when you drift along the river at sunrise, surrounded by laughter and commerce, it's easy to understand why. The floating markets are not just places of trade, they are floating communities, a reminder of how closely tied the Vietnamese are to their rivers. Number 14. The Vietnamese language. For many visitors, the greatest challenge in Vietnam isn't crossing the street, it's learning the language. Vietnamese is often ranked among the hardest languages in the world to master, especially for Westerners. One reason is the system of 6 tones. A single syllable, pronounced differently, can mean 6 completely different things. Say it wrong, and ma could mean ghost, mother, horse, rice seedling, grave, or scold. Add to that a vocabulary full of words with multiple meanings depending on context, and even simple conversations can feel like puzzles. Then there's the complex web of pronouns and honorifics. Instead of just I and you, Vietnamese requires choosing from dozens of options based on age, gender, family role, or social status. For learners, it can feel like a brain game, challenging but fascinating. Yet this difficulty is also what makes the language so beautiful. It reflects the layers of respect, intimacy, and community that define Vietnamese culture. For travelers, even learning a few simple phrases like Xin Chào, hello, or Cam Un, thank you, opens doors. Locals light up with smiles when you try, and in those moments, the challenge becomes a connection. Number 15. Beliefs and festivals. Vietnam is not only diverse in landscapes and food, it is also incredibly rich in spiritual life. Three main traditions stand out: Buddhism, mother goddess worship, and ancestor veneration. Buddhism arrived more than 2,000 years ago and has since shaped the nation's philosophy of compassion and balance. Ancient pagodas like Tran Quoc in Hanoi or Thien Mu in Hue are not only places of worship but also architectural treasures. In 2025, Vietnam will once again host the UN Vesak celebration, welcoming delegations from more than 80 countries, a reminder of its central role in the Buddhist world. Mother goddess worship, meanwhile, celebrates the power of nature and femininity. The colorful Hao Dong ritual, part dance, part music, part trance performance, has been recognized by UNESCO as an intangible cultural heritage of humanity. It is both spiritual and theatrical, captivating anyone lucky enough to witness it. And then there is ancestor worship, the quiet but unshakable heart of family life. Almost every household, from city apartments to rural homes, has an altar with incense, photos, and offerings. It's a simple way of honoring the past and keeping family bonds alive. These beliefs flow naturally into Vietnam's festivals. The biggest of all is Tet, the Lunar New Year. Streets fill with flower markets, families prepare feasts, and children receive red envelopes filled with lucky money. In Hanoi, the Hoang Pagoda Festival draws thousands on a pilgrimage along a river valley, blending faith with breathtaking scenery. Further south, Hue hosts its grand cultural festival every 2 years, reviving royal court music, parades, and traditional games. And in the highlands, the Sapa Love Market brings together young men and women from ethnic communities for music, dance, and courtship under the stars. For travelers, these festivals are more than spectacles. They are invitations to step inside Vietnam's soul to share joy, faith, and tradition with its people. Number 16. Must-visit destinations. With so much to see, where should you go first? Start in Hanoi, the 1,000-year-old capital. Here, French colonial buildings stand beside ancient temples, while the old quarter buzzes with scooters, street food, and sidewalk cafes. Don't leave without tasting the city's famous egg coffee or visiting the Ho Chi Minh Mausoleum. Next is Hue, once the imperial capital. Its citadel, a UNESCO World Heritage Site, preserves the legacy of the Nguyen dynasty. Royal tombs, ancient pagodas, and refined cuisine make Hue feel like a living museum. In the northwestern mountains lies Sapa, famous for its terraced rice fields and cool climate. Trekking through villages of the Hmong and Dao, people offers both stunning scenery and cultural connection. For adventurers, climbing Fansipan, the roof of Indochina, is a challenge worth taking. Of course, no trip is complete without Ha Long Bay. With more than 1,600 limestone islands, it is a natural wonder that invites cruises, kayaking, and cave exploration. Watching the sunrise over emerald waters is an unforgettable experience. Finally, head south to Phu Quoc. This island paradise offers white sand beaches, luxury resorts, and vibrant night markets. Whether diving into coral reefs or simply sipping a cocktail at sunset, Phu Quoc feels like the perfect ending to a journey through Vietnam. Number 17. Vietnamese cuisine. Vietnamese cuisine is a journey through flavors shaped by geography and culture. Each region tells its own story on the plate. In the north, food is light and balanced, often seasoned just enough to highlight natural flavors. Dishes like pho, bun roux, and bun cha showcase delicate broths, simmered from bones and herbs. CNN even listed pho among the top 50 dishes in the world, while bun cha gained international fame after President Obama enjoyed it on a visit to Hanoi. Travel south to Hue in central Vietnam, and flavors become bolder, spicier, and more colorful. Once the royal capital, Hue developed a cuisine as refined as it was elaborate. Bun bo hue, mi quang, and dozens of small, artfully prepared dishes reflect a culinary culture built to serve emperors. Even today, a meal in Hue feels like dining at a royal banquet. In the southern region, food becomes sweeter, more vibrant, and full of variety. Influences from Khmer, Chinese, and Cham communities mix into dishes like Hue Tieu, Cam Tam, and endless tropical desserts. Here, generosity rules. The portions are larger, the flavors richer, and the markets overflow with exotic fruits. Across the country, one thing unites it all. Food is not just about eating, it is about gathering. Families and friends sit together, sharing bowls, passing plates, and turning meals into memories. For travelers, tasting Vietnamese cuisine means discovering a culture that feeds both the body and the spirit. Number 18. Cost of living and safety. For many visitors, one of Vietnam's greatest surprises is how affordable life can be. A one-bedroom apartment in the heart of Hanoi or Ho Chi Minh City often costs between $400 and $800 per month, while smaller studios or apartments outside the center drop to as little as $250. Utilities, electricity, water, internet rarely exceed $100. Food is another joy. A steaming bowl of pho or a plate of com tam from a street vendor often costs just $1 to $2. Even dinner at a high-end restaurant usually stays under $15 per person. For those who prefer cooking, weekly groceries can be covered with around $25. Transportation is equally budget-friendly. A bus ride costs about 40 cents, while ride-hailing apps like Grab or Bee charge just a few dollars for short trips. Renting a motorbike for a month often comes to $50. Add in gyms, laundry, and healthcare, and most people find they can live comfortably on $700 to $900 per month. And here's the bonus. Vietnam is not just affordable, it's safe. Violent crime rates are far lower than the global average. Gun ownership is almost non-existent. That's why visitors often describe Vietnam as one of the most secure places in Southeast Asia, where walking the streets at night feels more exciting than dangerous. Together, low costs and high safety make Vietnam not only a wonderful place to visit, but also a destination where many foreigners choose to stay longer, sometimes for life. Conclusion. From its love of peace to its vibrant culture, from its majestic landscapes to its delicious food, Vietnam is full of surprises. We've explored 18 remarkable facts from motorbikes and coffee to caves and festivals that reveal a country both ancient and modern, simple yet extraordinary. So, which part of Vietnam impressed you the most? Share your thoughts in the comments below, and if you want to keep discovering more fascinating stories from around the world, don't forget to like, subscribe, and ring the bell so you never miss the next adventure.